Happy week, guys. It's week 14. Nuts. We have like, what, 6 weeks left of school? Oh, I hate it. I hate it. Well, I don't, because Christmas is coming soon, and that means winter break, and video games and board games. Yay. Oh, Secret Santa started. I love me some Secret Santa. Remind me, I'll tell you about Secret Santa. Okay, anyways, so this week is one of my favorite weeks in Algebra 2 because you get to watch the best Sven video ever, which is his synthetic division video. So we're doing something called synthetic division, which is where you take polynomials. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see this. So we take a polynomial like this guy, and we divide it by something, which is actually a lot easier than it sounds. But because it's a little weird, I'm actually not going to start here. I'm going to go to the practice page and actually start down here on number 10. Okay, so I'm going to do this problem number 10 first, because it's a better intro to synthetic division, but before we actually do synthetic division. So it is, let's see. So now, where's my, there we go. Negative 3x squared plus 10x minus 4. Okay. So we have negative 3x squared, I already lost it, plus 10x minus 4, plus 10x minus 4. And we are trying to figure out what we would have at x equals negative 2. X equals negative 2. Okay, so this is actually something called synthetic substitution. It's a kind of a cool way to use synthetic division to figure out what this equation equals at a specific point without actually having to plug it in. It's not as useful for these, like smaller polynomials, because these aren't terribly difficult to plug it in, but when you get to higher level ones where you have like to the fifths, to the fourths, and they just get messy, you can do this and it's a lot easier. So I'm going to walk you through synthetic division. This will probably be a shorter video, then I'll do another couple videos about this. So the way synthetic division works, all you're concerned about are the coefficients. Okay, kind of like when you're doing the quadratic formula, you just pick the numbers in the front. Okay, so I'm going to write those down in a row. Say negative 3, 10, negative 4. Okay, so make sure to include the signs, right? Negative 4, 10, negative 3, and then you're going to draw a line down here. You'll understand why in a minute. This is just the format, and then you draw a little box, okay? This box is where you put what you're dividing by. So on this one, I'm dividing by this negative 2. Okay, I'm checking to see what happens if I were to plug negative 2 in. So I'm going to put a negative 2 here. Okay, so here's how synthetic division works. Simple algorithm that I'm going to be doing. So the first thing I do is I take this first number and I drop it like it's hot. Okay, I take this negative 3 and I put this negative 3 right there. Okay, you always do that on every single problem. You always take that first number and drop it down. You drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. Okay, now comes the actual algorithm. What you do is you take this negative 2 and multiply it by negative 3. Okay, so negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6, and I'm going to write it underneath the next number. Okay, then I add these two numbers together. 10 plus 6, 16. And then I repeat that pattern. Negative 2 times 16 is going to be negative 32. Negative 4 plus negative 32, negative 36. And I'm done. That is synthetic substitution. It's that same pattern. You'll say this times this, which goes here. And then you'll say this times this, which then goes there. Right? It's that same pattern. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. So with synthetic substitution, which we just did, now this number right here, if I were to plug negative 2 into this equation, I would get negative 36. That's how synthetic substitution works. Okay? Shall we double check? Let's double check. I haven't checked this, so I'm hoping it works. So we have negative 3, parentheses, plus 10, parentheses, minus 4. Okay, so we're plugging in negative 2. Oh, I forgot the squared. So we have negative 2, negative 2. So negative 2 times 2, that's going to be negative 4, which gives me 12. Oh, it's going to be positive 4, right, because negative 2 squared. So that gives me 12, okay? Plus, so we have negative 12 minus 20 minus 4. negative 36. Done. Cool. So that's just a cool little trick on how to do these things. But again, it's a nice introduction to how synthetic division works, which is why I started with this. You're not actually dividing, you're just plugging a number in and figuring out what it works. Okay, now we're going to go do an actual synthetic division problem. So let's go back to our reteach now. And now I'm going to do this very first one, okay? 3x cubed minus 4x squared plus x minus 16 divided by x minus 2. All right, so let's make a new page. And this Jamboard I'm going to try and share with you. I'm still getting used to it. It's kind of nice for when I'm making videos like this because it does save it. So we have 3x cubed minus 4x squared plus x. 3x cubed minus 4x squared plus x minus 16. 4x squared minus, yeah, I think we got it. And then we're dividing by x minus 2. Okay, and we are dividing by x minus 2. Okay, so let's set up the synthetic division just like we did the last one. So again, I take these coefficients and write them in a row. And you always write them in order of highest exponent to lowest. Okay, that's important. So if they're not in order and the like terms aren't combined, you have to do that first. So I'm going to take this 3, negative 4, x. So there is no coefficient, so it's just 1, negative 16, right? Draw my box, draw my line, and then I usually, before I do anything, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. Okay. So on this one, they did not tell me to substitute a number. Instead, they're saying divide by this. So to divide by this, what I do is I don't divide by negative 2, I divide by what would make this binomial 0. So in this case, it would be positive 2. It's usually going to be the opposite of whatever the number is, but I'll explain how this works later. Okay. But again, I take whatever makes that binomial 0, plug it into my box, and I do my synthetic division algorithm. Okay, so I'm going to say 2 times 6, right? That gives me 2 times 3 gives me a 6. Add those together, and I get a 2, right? Now I'm going to say 2 times 2 gives me 4, right? 1 plus 4, 5. Why? I hate that they always give you ones with remainders right away. It irritates me. 2 times 5, right? 2 times 5 is 10, right? 10 minus 16, we get a negative 6. Okay. You remember back in the day when you had to do division and remainders were like, because you didn't understand decimals yet? Well, we're back to remainders again. I hate remainders. They're annoying. But whatever, we'll get there. Usually, if something goes in evenly, just like when you're doing regular division, it'll come out with, and everything cancels out. It just works, right? There's no remainder. If this is 0, if that last number is 0, that means there's no remainder. Okay, but there is a remainder in this one, which is the worst. So let me show you how to write this new equation out, because this generates a new equation. So now we have all of these coefficients. We just divided out an x. Okay, so if I were to multiply this times whatever I get, I'll get this again, just like regular division. Okay, but what that means is that I am dividing an x out of all of these terms, and that's why you have to have it in order. So this first term was cubed, is now this new coefficient dropped down one exponent. So it is going to be 3x squared. I have a 2 plus 2. I'm going to drop it down an exponent, 2x. I have a 5, drop it down an exponent, right? And if you had no remainder, that'd be your new equation. Done. But we do have a remainder, so the way the remainder works, it's really annoying. You take this number, minus 6, and you put it over whatever you divided by, over x minus 2. And that's your answer. So let's go back to the worksheet to see what they were asking. So I go back to the worksheet. It asks for the quotient and the remainder. The quotient is what I get after I divide. So that's that part that is in black, right? 3x squared plus 2x plus 5. That's what you get after dividing. The remainder is this part in yellow, minus 6 over x minus 2. Okay? So quotient, remainder. I'm going to stop this video now. That's it. I'm going to post another video with Sven, and I'm probably going to do another video with some of these harder ones. But we will do this in class on Friday. So, yeah, hope that helps. Adios, guys.